What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a quick Destiny 2 video to talk about Nightfall weapons which are going to be live this season, or this episode. That still feels kind of weird to say, but of course we're in the Final Shape and Echoes era, and on top of base Nightfalls, Grandmasters are going to launch on the 25th of June, so they'll be coming up in the next few days. We do have a couple of new Nightfall weapons this season, or should I say updated weapons. There's one brand new one, and then a bunch of updates for existing Nightfall drops. And so we're going to jump in and talk about the perk rolls that we can pick up, get a look at the new weapon and the featured strikes for episode 1. And so as always, I hope the video today is useful guys. If it is, a rating below really does help us out on the channel, but without further delay, let's get into it. First up, it is worth mentioning that this season, we actually get 8 Nightfall weapons featured. Of course, episodes are a little bit longer than seasons, so Bungie wanted to add a couple more drops into the rotation. And if you're wondering about Grandmaster Triumphs and the Nightfall list for the season, this time around, the Glassway, as well as Warden of Nothing, the Disgraced, Fallen Saber, Liminality, which of course is the new Pale Heart Strike, and then Exodus Crash, updated as part of Echoes, as well as Psyop's Battleground Cosmodrome, Inside Terminus, and the Devil's Lair will all be featured strikes, so quite a selection right there to choose from in terms of Grandmasters. And now let's talk about the weapons. The brand new one for this season is called Scintillation, and this is an adaptive burst, or 3-round burst linear fusion rifle. This one comes with strand damage, and we can see the model is a sort of typical Viced linear, but there is this cool sort of starry animation on the weapon. In terms of bonuses though, in the first trait column, it's able to roll Envious Assassin, as well as Rapid Hit, and then it can get Rewind rounds, Slice, Cornered, and Auto-Loading Holster. Then in slot 2, we can get Surrounded, as well as Hatchling, but also Reservoir Burst, Bait and Switch, Firing Line, and finally Attrition Orbs. So there are going to be a few different options here. It's nice to have a bunch of different magazine and reload options. Obviously, Envious Assassin is solid, giving us those high magazines, but also Rewind rounds could be a pretty good one in terms of DPS. Then there's the classic Auto-Loading Holster, and Rapid Hit's going to proc pretty much immediately as well, considering this fires the 3-round burst. I'd say also Slice, to apply that Sever to targets, is pretty solid, as that's going to result in some bonus damage, but obviously Surrounded and Hatchling in the second slot are both solid options. I haven't used Reservoir Burst a whole bunch on linear fusion rifles, but there are those damage bonuses like Bait and Switch and Firing Line, as well as that synergy between things like Envious Assassin and Bait and Switch, so could be an interesting weapon guys, so let us know what you'd be looking out for on this thing in the comments section. Also updated this season though is the Shadow Price Auto Rifle, and this is an Arc Precision Frame Auto, where in the first trade slot we can get Surplus, Overflow, Stats for All, Strategist, Attrition Orbs, and Invisible Hand. Then the second slot can get One for All, Vault Shot, Demolitionist, Gutshot Straight, Surrounded, or Permeability. In particular, I think Vault Shot will be pretty nice to have on this. Obviously, that's going to help to proc perks like Attrition Orbs, even Strategist, and Stats for All. So that's pretty solid, and I think Strategist and Vault Shot in particular could be a pretty good one. Then we get on to the Astyanax bow. That one is still featured this season. Of course, it's a precision frame solar bow. And the first trait slot can get Archer's Tempo, as well as Opening Shot, and To the Pain. That's a new one this season, and while the weapon is equipped, taking damage increases handling and aim assist until the weapon is stowed. But it could also roll Attrition Orbs, Cornered, and Shoot to Loot in the first trade slot, with the second slot able to get Incandescent, Explosive Head, Archer's Gambit, Precision Instrument, Successful Warm-Up, and Surrounded. Archer's Tempo and Incandescent is a very popular role on the weapon already, but Attrition Orbs paired with Incandescent could be solid as well. Those are the two sort of interesting combinations, but depending on what you want to do with it, there are plenty of different options. Next though we get the Undercurrent Grenade Launcher, which is a Waveframe Arc Launcher, and in trait slot 1 it can get Lead from Gold, Demolitionist, Field Prep, Stats for All, as well as Ambitious Assassin and Eddy Current, and that can pair up in the second slot with Vault Shot, One for All, Bait and Switch, Adrenaline Junkie, High Ground, or Attrition Orbs. So obviously Lead from Gold Vault Shot is really good, but again Demolitionist Vault Shot's going to be solid, as Vault Shot in particular will feed loads of grenade energy back, and even Stats for All and Ambitious Assassin paired with Vault Shot could be solid. But again there are other options, as well as the damage bonuses like One for All and Bait and Switch there. Next up though, the Slammer is also still featured this season. This is a Vortex Frame Stasis Sword, and the first trade slot's able to get Eager Edge, Chain Reaction, as well as Relentless Strikes, Pugilist, Attrition Orbs, or Thresh, and then the second slot can get Cold Steel as well as Bait and Switch, Demolitionist, One for All, Permeability, or Collective Action. So really the combos there are largely going to be as popular as last season. Eager Edge and Cold Steel is really nice. And secondary to that, Chain Reaction Cold Steel is very popular. Bait and Switch as a damage bonus is pretty good too, whether it's paired with Eager Edge or Relentless Strikes in particular. But again, most folks are going to go for the same roles as last season. But additionally, the Wild Style Grenade Launcher, which is the double fire solar grenade launcher, in the first trade slot can get Envious Assassin, as well as Danger Zone, Keep Away, Enlightened Action, Unrelenting, Stats for All, and then Reconstruction, and Grave Robber. Then the second slot can get Incandescent, Surrounded, One for All, Collective Action, Permeability, Attrition Orbs, Vorpal Weapon, or Bait and Switch. So still, Envious Assassin Incandescent's going to be popular. I think Reconstruction is one that's been recently added in, so that's another option similar to Envious Assassin. But then there's the additional Vorpal Weapon or Bait and Switch damage options there as well now. But then we get the Uzume RR4 Sniper Rifle. This is an adaptive frame solar sniper, where the first trade slot can get 4th times the charm, as well as Clown Cartridge, Snapshot Sights, Lead from Gold, Discord, or Attrition Orbs. And then the second slot can get Precision Instrument, Vorpal Weapon, Explosive Head, Incandescent, Golden Tricorn, or Deconstruct. So 4th times the charm and Precision Instrument still is going to be very popular. Obviously, alternatively, there's Vorpal Weapon, or Explosive Payload for damage bonuses, but Clown Cartridge and Snapshot Sights are the other top bonuses in slot 1, depending on exactly how you want the weapon to perform. The last weapon to mention, though, is the Warden's Law Hand Cannon. I think this came back last season, but it's been updated again, and it's a kinetic heavy burst hand cannon. So in the trait slots, in slot 1 it can get 4th times the charm, Demolitionist, Enlightened Action, Perpetual Motion, and then Moving Target, or To the Pain. With slot 2, able to get Vorpal Weapon, Frenzy, Rampage, or Kill Clip, Zen Moment, and finally there is additionally Adrenaline Junkie. Again, largely, I think folks are going to go after pretty similar roles to what we had last season. But then the only real changes are that Snapshot and Discord have been removed from previous season, and now it can get To the Pain and Demolitionist. And Adrenaline Junkie, I think, is new in that second slot as well. So let us know which you'd look out for on that one. And so a couple of interesting new or updated weapons, as well as some additional perks thrown in on some of the weapons that were featured last season. Let us know in the comment section which weapons are standing out for you. Of course, there are also the Adept variants of these weapons for the Grandmasters, where the perk rolls are the same. But again, with Grandmasters going live this next week, I figured there'd be a bit more attention paid to Nightfalls and the Nightfall drops, so hopefully the video has been useful, guys, and if it has, a rating really does help us out down below. Also be sure to get subscribed so I can keep you posted with more Destiny content. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.